We came to Bangalore from Delhi. The hoardings seemed to suggest immediately that there was a World Cup buzz.
The weather wasn't bad too. 26, though I wouldn't say is exactly very pleasant, but not bad.
On the eve of the India-England match, we thought we would check out the Indian team practicing at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. And right off the bat, it seemed like it was a very relaxed atmosphere.
Everybody seemed to be having fun, and Shrikant's presence probably helped because I think he lightens things up a bit.
Right. Then the big day came, the day of the India-England match. Now we felt like we were in World Cup nation. Throngs gathered outside the stadium, reminded us of Dhaka, and in stark contrast to Delhi. Maybe because this was an India match, maybe because the stadium is right at the heart of the city.
And maybe because they just finished Commonwealth Games and the level of interest is much lower.
In Delhi.
In Delhi. The match took place. It became exciting in the last hour, but 20 minutes before the close, it seemed fairly clear that India would win, and a lot of the crowd started to leave before the crowds became too much.
Right, and the security personnel were gearing up to control a crazed Indian mob celebrating a win.
But of course, things didn't pan out like that. Both teams won or lost, depending on what your point of view is. It was a tie.
Right, and in the end, the people who left were left kind of ambivalent.
Well, everyone seems to think it was a great match, and the last hour certainly was. But the rest of it, I don't know. If you have pitches like this, which basically produce two lots of one-sided 50 overs where the bowler has no chance in hell, I think this is going to kill cricket even faster. And to watch the remaining of the World Cup matches as high-scoring as this fills me with dread, to be honest.
Well, I think the pitch thing is being made too much out of, because what about the bowlers? There were two pace bowlers, one in each team, who did exceptionally well. They were skillful bowlers who knew what to do when, and their change-ups and everything were wonderful to watch, and they were so effective on the same pitch.
There were plenty of impactful bowlers on display. Swan, Harbhajan Singh. The problem was the pitch. It was not the bowlers.
When Swan was bowling, Tendulkar took a lot of risk. He played those slog sweeps which he doesn't play very often. Harbhajan, on the other hand, was in fact effective yesterday.
What Tim Bresnan and Zaheer Khan did went beyond their skills. It was also how they utilized their minds, how intelligently they...
Which is a skill.
But I'm saying at the end of the day, Zaheer still went for 6.4 runs an over. So that means it was a run-scoring pitch.
If you come in with 3 and 4 specialist bowlers and only one of them can perform in each side, obviously you'll have a boring match.
Okay, this is slightly controversial, but Strauss played a fantastic innings. There's absolutely no taking away from his performance. I think the man of the match actually was Tim Bresnan. I think he was the most impactful player of the game. 5 wickets, fine. None of them were lower order easy wickets. He actually completely stopped the flow of runs near the end and probably prevented this from becoming a 380 game. He gave away 48 runs in 10 overs, which is like way below anybody else has.
For me, man of the match, I don't know, because I don't know what they define as man of the match these days. If you say the person who had the most impact on the match, I would agree with you, Tim Bresnan. But it seems to be this kind of a very nebulous thing that they pull out,
No, it is basically, I think batsmen are more glamorous in one-day cricket. Bowlers' contributions never get recognized. And this has been going on for ages. And this is nothing new. That Tim Bresnan wasn't even spoken about in the same breath as Strauss is.
He's not spoken about at all in many of the news reports that we have.
Which is ridiculous because he was the most impactful player of the game.
No one mentioned Tim Bresnan in the press conference either. But many of them asked the two captains about the UDRS review of Ian Bell's wicket.
I like Dhoni's answer.
Well, the adulteration is quite bad, when it's natural or technology. So I think the adulteration of the technology with the human thinking, was the reason why we didn't get that wicket. So hopefully next time I need to do technology or human inventions.
Andrew Strauss, on the other hand, admitted that he didn't know that particular nuance of the rule, and he felt that Ian Bell had basically lucked out.
We made a new friend in Wright Thompson. He's a writer with ESPN.
The following was shot with Wright from Dhaka, Bangladesh. just before the World Cup had started.
He's a new, very new cricket fan, watching the game with completely fresh eyes.
He's from where I'm from, USA.
Well, he's much more from USA than you are.
Hi, I'm Bill Clinton. I'm President of the United States. I love women and cricket.
You know, this is his first month of watching cricket, and this is how he feels about it.
Totally cricket over baseball. I grew up watching baseball, and not to blaspheme against my friends that love baseball, but I've always thought baseball was like watching paint dry. And frankly, that's a little reason I was slightly concerned about coming to cover the Cricket World Cup. But I've found that this is anything but boring. There's so many more things that can happen here, and there is an artistry in it that I think doesn't exist in baseball. You know, baseball is very much a power game, and this has elements of that, and they are the exciting things that go on. But it's power, it's finesse, it's violent, it's beautiful, it's fast, it's slow, it's deceptive, it's aggressive. It's all of those things at once. It's the difference between, you know, Disney World and Las Vegas, frankly. I mean, you know, this is exciting, and baseball makes me want to kill myself.
We met right again immediately after the India-England tie.
So it's full circle, and it's interesting to hear what he has to say now.
It's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. I mean, the shifts in momentum, I mean, the drama, from the exhilaration of watching Sachin do that in India in front of an Indian crowd, and then sort of everybody in the crowd thinking it was a done deal, no way, England was going to chase it down. And then England just, you know, the runs coming so quickly, and that entire motion changed. I mean, the place was silent, and England was going to win for sure. And then it was back, and then it was fourth, and it was back, and then it was fourth. And at the end, it was a tie. I mean, I sort of was looking around like, what happened? And everybody's like, it's a tie. I'm like, man, I just spent 8 hours here, and it's a tie. And it was wonderful. It was one of, if not the best days and nights I've ever spent in a stadium anywhere. I don't know if I've ever been in a place that felt like that. I've been in louder places, and I've been in stadiums with 3 or 4 times as many people, but there was an electricity there. And, you know, everybody keeps saying you got to see India play in India. I mean, India in India, I mean, it's like hearing Elvis in Memphis. I mean, it's something that you just have to do and can't really describe. I'm almost worried now that, like, you can't ever beat that was it. You know, I went to one fight and it was Ali Foreman. So I'll do that every day of the week.